Today is all about our guts, our stomachs, our what's known as a second brain. And actually, the vagal nerve is the other thing we're going to talk about this morning, or vagus nerve. Vagus actually is Latin for wandering. It is the largest nerve. It's like a bundle that extends from the base of your skull all the way down to your gut. And it's like a super highway of communication. Basically, these bodies of ours are self-healing. But that's only when we adhere to right diet, right lifestyle, exercise. Stress management is a huge one. And to that end, we're actually going to start. You can sit up if you like, but you can lie down because we're going to practice diaphragmatic breathing. So when you place one hand on your chest and the other one just below your rib cage, some people say put it on your belly, somewhere underneath your rib cage for sure, or, I mean, not underneath, but below your rib cage and on your chest. Basically what you want to see here is that your chest is not going to be moving, but your belly will. So that's where, lying down can be helpful. You're going to breathe like a baby, basically. And so when we practice this type of breathing, we stimulate the vagus nerve. That's number one. The vagus nerve is key to our health. The vagus nerve stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. And 70% of our immunity depends on a healthy vagal nerve and a healthy gut microbiome. So one hand is going to be on your chest. One hand is on your chest, the other one on your belly or somewhere just below your rib cage. And you want to be sure that your tummy, belly, abdomen is rising, but your chest, it doesn't need to move. In fact, it would be better if it doesn't. So breathing in through your nose. This is what, you're using your lungs to fill up the bottom of the lungs, which puts pressure on the diaphragm, which presses your abdominal muscles up. And then as you exhale, you can exhale through pursed lips. The breath is really a bridge between the mind and the body. So whether or not, we don't have to think about that, but knowing that there are many types of breathing exercises that can help us heal a multitude of conditions. Definitely the style of Kundalini yoga focuses really heavily on breathing, which for some people, it's a bit of boredom, they feel, but that's just a lack of education in understanding how important the breath is. The breath is also a pump that circulates the venous blood. The venous blood is the blood that's been used. It's got to go back to the heart and empty out its contents for purification. And then it's the breath that exhales and removes the waste. And of course, there are other things that the body helps to remove through sweating, through elimination, urine, etc. So interestingly, a vagal nerve issue, and I'm reminded that I fainted once in Acapulco. I think I just arrived, or Cancun, doesn't matter. It was hot, and I could have been a bit stressed out. I probably didn't eat enough, and I fainted. So some of the issues that doctors may not be looking at when it comes to the vagal nerve, abdominal pain and bloating, acid reflux. I mean, how many people have acid reflux? Now, this can be an aspect of stress, but this is why diaphragmatic breathing is important to reduce the stress that we have in our lives. Lots of times we hold our breath. Well, that just creates more stress in the body. Hoarseness, wheezing, loss of voice, unexplained weight loss, changes to heart rate, blood pressure, or blood sugar. These can all be issues that are an aspect of a vagal nerve problem. So 75% of our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, it is the healing, it's the repairing of body and mind, has to do with this vagus nerve. 75% of our parasympathetic nerve fibers are sending information between the brain, the heart, and the digestive system. So what you are doing right now is accessing, or assisting is a better word, you are assisting your body's own natural ability to be self-healing. So, I mean, clearly, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Why get to the point where we have problems when we could avoid them? And it's as simple sometimes as this diaphragmatic breathing exercise. Now, the gut lining, of course, is important, and I will get into that. There's quite a bit to share with you on this subject. So, you know, if you just take one or two things away from any class and you work with them, be happy with that. I've done all kinds of workshops and things where I get all excited and I want to take it all in, and don't try to do that. Just be present with this breathing. And we will continue next to bring our knees into our chest. So draw one at a time up, one knee at a time. Pull your knees into your chest. Now, this is called wind releasing pose. So, you know, pressing on the lower abdomen can assist, of course, in releasing trapped gases, and it can also stimulate peristalsis that is helpful for us removing weight. So good gut health really involves, you know, having at least one poop a day. Let's cut to the chase here. It could be 2 or 3, depending on our eating habits, but one a day is super important. Skin issues can be a result of a gut problem. And there are many things. As you are starting to discover, the gut being the second brain, the vagus nerve being the superhighway, it ends in the tummy, but it begins at the base of the skull. It is a very large bundle of nerves. So in the knee to chest, on an exhale, pull your knees in and towards your chest, so higher up. On an inhale, you can release a bit of that pressure. And on an exhale, pull your knees in and up. This is assisting in helping the lungs release all of the waste, the carbon dioxide that it possibly can. Inhaling, releasing that pressure, but exhaling, you're pulling your knees in towards your abdomen and up towards your shoulders, if you will, your collarbones. So just work with that for another couple of moments. And release the soles of your feet, keeping your knees bent, soles of your feet on the floor with your arms right beside your body and your palms facing down. Lift your shoulder blades up and tuck them under your heart center. Tilt your chin towards the center of your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. On an exhale, press the small of your back into the floor, and then peel your spine slowly off the floor, coming up into a bridge pose. So reversing some of the blood flow and just opening up the front of the body, creating space after the compression, and slowly, starting from the top of your vertebra, bring your torso back onto your mats. If you found that your heels were a little bit or feet too far away to have a comfortable bridge pose, then move them a little bit closer at this time. Palms are facing down, arms are right beside your body. Again, exhaling, press the small of your back into the floor. So we're activating abdominal muscles here. The compression on your abdomen is stimulating for digestion. And peel your spine off the floor, coming up into your bridge pose. And while you're in the bridge pose, inhale your arms straight up. Exhale them over behind your head. And inhale, bring the arms so your fingers are pointing towards the ceiling, and simultaneously lower your torso and your arms together back down onto your mats. Now, at this time, I want to suggest that for those of us who wish to do our shoulder stands, we will. For those of us who don't, you can place your block or firm cushion, whatever you have, underneath your sacrum. Now, the higher up you can get it, this is also known as a waterfall pose, just getting your legs up in the air. If you're not inclined to do a shoulder stand or a plow, use your block or your bolster, perhaps at the medium height, and just let your legs hang out up there. But for those of us who wish to do a shoulder stand and ultimately a plow post as well, arms are beside your body. Lift your legs up and over behind your heads, just halfway. Supporting your lower back, you can drop your knees towards your forehead, heels towards bum, and hands moving up towards your waist, with your fingers perhaps embracing the kidney area, and then straightening your legs, coming up into Sharvangasana. Suffice to say that a yoga practice is excellent for self-healing. It's stimulating every part of your body. But of course, today we're focusing on digestion and the vagus nerve. And if you're able, please breathe in through your nose. If you need to, you can exhale through pursed lips. Take your legs wide apart and slowly lower them down over behind your head. Don't force them. Let this be totally organic. Whether your toes touch the floor or not, doesn't matter. Let it be organic. We're not forcing anything in this class, and we shouldn't in any yoga class. Inhale, legs back up, wide leg shoulder stand. Exhale, wide leg plow post. And back up to shoulder stand. Bring your legs together. Lower your right leg down over behind your head. And back up. Left leg down over behind your head. And back up. Right knee to right ear. Back up. Left knee to left ear.
back up, and then lower both legs halfway over behind your head. Bring your hands back to the floor, and with as much control as you can, or if you're on a block, remove it, and slowly lower your legs back down onto the floor. And if you need to, bend your legs as you lower them. If you want the extra ab work, then keep your legs straight. And once your legs are down, take your heels to the edge of the mat. Bring your arms beside your body with your palms facing down. You're going to lift your upper body off the floor. We're going to come into fish pose, Matsyasana. Let your head fall backwards. If it's comfortable, bring the crown of your head onto your mat. Please, there should be less than 10% of your body weight, very little on the crown of your head. If you just want your head to hang, that's okay too, but I think placing your head on the floor puts less stress on the upper part of your body. So most of the weight is in the lower half of your body and part of it on your elbows. So after we compress the throat area, we open it up, stretch it, and allow fresh arterial blood to rush in and nourish this part of the body. When it comes to a healthy microbiome, gut health, fermented foods, of course, are fantastic for healing the gut lining. And then lift your head up and come on all the way back down. Inhaling in place, exhale, gently turn your head to the left. Just for a moment, breathe here. The good news is your gut lining can heal, and it changes every 3 days. Now, if you keep doing the same thing, it doesn't change into anything different, it just remains the same. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, gently turn your head to the other side. So fermented foods, we know about kefir, if you call it that. Yogurt that has live probiotics, read the labels, some don't. Prebiotic foods are excellent. You can Google these things and see what you like to eat, but basically there are a lot of the same things, garlic and onion, and as I said, the fermented foods, tempeh, sauerkraut, kimchi. Inhaling in place, exhale, draw your right knee up, interlock your fingers 2 inches below the kneecap, pull that knee in towards your chest. Here we are compressing now the ascending colon, and then let's mobilize the ankle joint by pointing the foot and flexing. Point, flex, point and flex, rotate, making circles. We're all out busy walking, as I said in my note yesterday. Change the direction. Everything kind of happens quickly with the rain and the sun that we're having. So get out and enjoy what is so beautiful this time of year. And then place your left hand on the outside of your right knee and draw it across your body to the left, extending your right arm shoulder height out to the right, and perhaps turning your head once again to the right. Maintain a little bit of pressure here. And inhaling, come back to center. Bring the knee into the chest. Bring your hands to your ankle or somewhere close. And then straighten the leg. Don't worry about making it too straight. Please do not hyperextend your knee. But just wrap your fingers around your ankle or your calf. And then inhaling in place. Exhale. Pull the leg towards you as you lift your head, neck, shoulders, and chest. So then we get further compression here in our ascending colons. And release your head and shoulders to the floor. Release your leg. Bring your hands to your side, lengthen and slowly lower this leg. So you're activating your hip flexors, strengthening them, which we need to get in and out of cars, walk up and down stairs, in and out of the bathtub. Inhaling in place. Exhale, draw the left knee up and interlock the fingers 2 inches below your knee. And again, you're pressing now into your descending colon. And let's mobilize the ankle joint by pointing the foot. Flex, point, flex, point, and flex. Rotate, making circles. Changing the direction. And then place your right hand on the outside of your left knee. Draw it across your body. Extend your left arm out to the left side. Maintaining a modicum of pressure. Breathing into your hip, your left hip or thigh, maybe your glutes. All twisting positions also have a cleansing effect. So we want motility in our digestive system. We don't want it to be sluggish. This creates food allergies, food intolerances. If we have a gut impermeability or too much permeability, all these things can be healed with right diet, fasting. Intermittent fasting is excellent. And a variety of foods, especially the antioxidant foods. And then bring the knee back to the center. Antioxidant foods typically have vitamins A, C, and E. Pulling that knee, left knee into your chest, reach your hands up towards your ankle or around your calf. And then straighten your leg without hyperextending the knee, so you can have a little bit of a bend in the leg. Inhaling in place. Exhale, pull that leg towards you. Bringing perhaps your nose towards your knee, your chin to your shin, depending on your anatomical structure. And lower your upper body back down. Release your hands beside your body. Lengthen the leg first and then slowly lower it. The slower you go, the more you activate and strengthen the muscles that are needed in order to lower your leg. Let's bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. So the soles of your feet are together, your knees are bent. And just take a moment again to do some deep belly breathing, abdominal breathing. You should be aware of your belly rising, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose or pursed lips if you like. Now, the other thing, you want to fully exhale. So if you want to, just to get the idea, place another hand or both of them on your belly. So as you inhale, both hands rise. And as you exhale, you might even gently press on your abdomen, which assists in removing all of the toxic gases and waste that can be removed through breathing. You know, if you're having trouble falling asleep at night, and, you know, sometimes my mind's a bit busy, I just start to bring my attention and awareness to the breath. And as soon as I start focusing on the breath, I can't be thinking about whatever I was thinking about. The mind can only have one thought at a time. Okay. Draw your knees together. You can either roll over onto your sides, or you can place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs and rock up to a seated position. And then come on over onto all fours. And let's do our cat-cow. This is excellent for so many reasons. We do it every week because it really addresses just about everything. In this case, of course, that vagal nerve. Okay, so your hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips, your middle finger points forward, the wrinkles in your wrist are aligned with the front of your mat. I just want to get your alignment just right. We talked about it, but as my oldest brother says, if you don't tell somebody something 5 times, don't be sure that they heard it. Okay, so on an exhale, round your spine, drop your tail, tuck your chin, pull your bellies in, and press your fingers into the mat. Take some of the stress out of your wrists, and then curling your toes under, hollow out your lower back, lifting and drawing your head and chest forward. So you're lifting your head, your eyes can float up to your third eye. Exhale, round your spine. So notice when you press all your fingers into the mat, take some of the pressure off the wrists if you have sore wrists. And then inhale, curling your toes under, hollow out your lower back, draw your heart center forward as you lift. Eyes rolled up, open or closed towards your third eye. Exhale, round your spine. And inhale, hollow out your lower back. And last round, exhaling into cat. So really exaggerate this, pull your bellies in. And inhale, curling your toes under. Perhaps pressing through the ball of your foot to stretch your plantar fascia. And come back to neutral. And then take your knees as wide apart as you can. Big toes touch, flatten the tops of your feet. You know, if you can't bend your knees 90 degrees, then you're coming into puppy pose. But otherwise, we're doing our modified child's pose. Take your time to take your hips back towards your heels. And releasing your forehead to the floor. Or if you need height, fold your forearms one on top of the other. And breathe. As you inhale, think about lengthening your spine, and as you exhale, can you press your hips closer to your heels? Inhaling to lengthen the spine. Exhaling to release hips to heels. Notice on your inhale how much your belly expands. Exhaling, belly relaxing. And one more time, inhale. And exhaling. All of this activating your parasympathetic nervous system and your vagal nerve. And then inhale, bring the knees underneath the hips, curl the toes under, and roll back onto the soles of your feet. And just let your upper body hang for a moment. Now, maybe if your fingertips can touch the floor without bending the knees, fine. If you have blocks, you want to add height. Basically, what I want you to do here is to have your belly pressed on your thighs. So whatever it takes, knees straight. You can use your blocks for height if you need it. Relax your neck, relax your head, but I want you to compress the belly. Have your abdomen pressing into your thighs. So again, notice as you breathe, you can feel your belly pressing into your quadricep muscles, your thigh muscles. Relax your neck, give your head a bit of a swing. So the gut is not just your second brain with thoughts and feelings and sensory perception. It's also housing about 70% of your immunity. Okay, so with your knees slightly bent, your head and your arms hanging, we're going to slowly roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time, with your head being the last thing to come up. And then inhale, shoulders up to ears. Exhale, push them back. Pull your shoulders down and just spend a moment here. Now that the art gallery is open again, imagine you're looking at a masterpiece. That would not be me. But lift your toes off the floor. Okay, so just check in with that big toe mount, the baby toe mount, the center front of your heels. Engage your thighs and then lower your toes. And then slightly turn your hands forward and then relax at the wrists. Tadasana, mountain pose. So this is axial extension. You're reaching up through the crown of your heads and you're pushing your shoulders down. You may feel this in your chest because we're so used to our shoulders creeping up. Going like, what is going on in this world? I don't know. I'm just going to stand tall and breathe. And I don't know who said this too shall pass. Actually, guys, give your legs a shake out. We're going to do sun salutations. But gee, I'm kind of looking for a teacher. I don't know if this is going to be my teacher or not, but he was a very unusual fellow who said, we're about to enter into the age of Aquarius. Hillary probably knows something about this, in 1,000 years of peace. And I was like, please, dear God, wouldn't that be nice for a change? Okay, sun salutations. Coming up to the fronts of your mats. Inhaling in place, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart, arms up, reach up, look up, and arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together, lift up out of your waist. Exhale, hinge from your hips, reach forward as you fold, fingertips to the floor, bend your knees if you need to, step your left leg back, drop your knee to the mat. Have your shoulders directly over your hips, hands on your front thigh, and then focus your gaze for balance as you lift your back knee off the floor. Don't let your torso come forward. Keep it straight up and down. You'll use more of your core. If you start leaning forward, you're not using as much of your core. Inhale, sweeping up. Fingers are active and strong. Press through the heel of your back foot. Turn your hands forward. Bring them to the mat. Middle finger points forward. Same applies that we just spoke about when we were in tabletop. So you're either in your plank position, or if your shoulders or wrists are not happy this way, bring your knees to the floor and cross your feet at the ankles. If you're in your plank position, reach through the crown of your heads, pull your bellies in, pull your rib cage together. It's more of an idea. Clearly you can't bring your rib cage, but think about giving yourself a yogic hug here. And breathe, of course, and then release your knees. Flatten the tops of your feet. Take your hips as far back as you can, leaving your hands where they are. Stretching the spine, shoulders, arms, wrists. And then release your forearms towards the floor, maybe on it. Stay nice and low. When you're able, release your chest and your chin, keeping your bum up. Slide everything out behind you. Align your fingertips with the edge of your shoulder. Bring your forehead to the mat. Keep the tops of your feet flat on the floor. You might even consider pressing the tops of your feet flat into the mat and even pressing your toenails into the mat. Keep your elbows tucked into your side body and then press them down towards the floor. Roll an invisible alley with your nose. On an inhale, you're using your back muscles to come up into baby cobra, baby bhujangasana. Again, if you wish, you can let your eyeballs roll up in their sockets. Eyes can be opened or closed. It's just as powerful. Towards your third eye, eyes rolling up. Keep your elbows, wrists, and shoulders aligned. Don't let your elbows wing out, and please don't let your shoulders creep up towards your ears. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen and lower. Curl your toes under. You can come up onto your knees first, and then onto your toes, and walk your feet a few inches forward. You want to be sure you're pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. Bend your knees. Once again, press your bellies onto your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Align your ears with your inner arms, and then press your heels towards the floor. And just breathe in here. There's so much going on in downward facing dog. And again, we're creating some space here, stretching that vagal nerve. This is all about keeping that vagus nerve happy, happy, happy. And then lift your left leg up in the air, look at your left hand, and swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward. Finding ourselves back in Uttanasana, standing forward, bend. Arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Pull your bellies in to protect your lower back. Sweep the arms in front, reaching up, feet apart for balance. Look up, arc back. Inhale, arms straight up. Exhale, reaching before you bend and fold. And then bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms and circle them up and overhead. Hands in prayer. Exhale to your heart centers. Second round. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart. Reach up, look up, arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale, reaching forward. Fingertips to the floor. Please let your heads hang. Step your right leg back. Drop the knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your left knee and focus your gaze as you lift the back knee off the floor. Keep your shoulders directly over your hips if you can. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Focus your gaze for balance, and remember your back foot is your anchor. If you're not pressing through that heel, you're going to be a little more wobbly because you're trying to find your anchor in your front leg. It's not there, it's in the back. One more breath in. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, bring them down on either side of the front foot, and assume your plank position, the one that works for you. Please don't let your belly sag. Engage your abdominal core. Shoulders away from your ears, reaching through the crown of your head. Feel your core activated here. If it's not activated, then you're sagging through the core area. And I think we discussed this last week. Strong core is important to maintain our upright, seated, as well as standing positions. Release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet. Slowly take your buttocks or hips back towards your heels. And I say slowly because sometimes you can get cramping in your feet if you go quickly. So again, your belly is being compressed on your thighs, but we're stretching the spine, the vagal nerve. Leaving your hands where they are. Stay nice and low. Release your forearms and elbows, if you can, to the floor. Keep your bum up in the air. And release your chest and your chin onto your mats.
Slide everything out behind you. Align your fingertips with the edges of your shoulders. Now, if you're going to press up into the fuller expression of Cobra, you may want to spread your feet wider apart. Again, please also press the tops of your feet into your mat. Even consider pressing your toenails into the mat, especially your baby toenail. Bring your elbows in towards your side body and press your elbows and forearms down towards the floor. Roll an invisible alley with your nose, and on an inhale, let's everybody come up into baby cobra. So you're not using your hands here. You may wish to stay here or press the floor away from you, keeping shoulders down, elbows in, eyes rolling up towards your third eye, Ajna chakra. Sometimes we see images of the Buddha where you don't see their eyeballs, but you know they're rolling their eyes up. So although we call the third eye our seat of intuition, we have a lot of intuition in our guts. Inhale up, exhale, lengthen down. Another reason why they call it the second brain. Bring your legs back together if you separated them. You can come up onto your knees first if you wish, and then lifting up, walk your feet a couple of inches forward, bend your knees, press your bellies onto your thighs, press your chest towards your knees, align your ears with your inner arms, so relax your neck, and then pressing all 10 fingers into the mat so you've got that carpal tunnel, that space, and press your heels towards the floor, stretching that all-important Achilles tendon. So again, remember, we're stretching the calf muscles attached to the Achilles tendon, which wraps around the heel and then attaches to your plantar fascia. So all of these things matter in terms of keeping your feet or your wheels happy. Lift your right leg up in the air, look at your right hand, swing that foot as far forward as you can, other leg forward, and just let your upper body hang, let your arms hang, let your head hang. In Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps, arms beside your ears, pull your bellies in, sweep your arms in front, reach up, stretch up, look up and arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back towards one another, lift out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Flat out and relaxing for 1 moment or 2 or 4. And take a sip of water, of course, as you need it. And once again, focusing on breathing into your belly. And if you're not sure, you place a hand on your belly. So there are other breathing exercises that also stimulate the vagus nerve. Ujjayi breathing, which is the one that where you kind of narrow the back of your throat and you make that sound, sort of like the sound of a conch shell. Although you can also think of it as a wave coming in and a wave going out. And Kapalabhati. I don't think we're going to have time for that today, but we'll get to it in a subsequent class. So just allow your breath here to normalize. When I studied nutrition, one of the things that came up a lot was how many people had thyroid issues, hypothyroidism, which is an under-functioning thyroid. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because when our thyroids are not functioning well, we have less stomach acid. Less stomach acid means lower digestibility. Now, as we age, we also have less hydrochloric acid, and those of us, and I say us because I'm one, A blood type, we also don't have as much hydrochloric acid, and hence a plant-based diet is often better for someone with A blood type, but I certainly know people of all blood types who practice a plant-based diet and are just fine. So, and I know that, you know, I'm grateful for doctors, of course, but I think that what I'm telling you today is that the body is a self-healing unit when we give it what it needs. So, and it's really about creating healthy habits. Okay, a couple of more conscious, aware breaths. Exhaling longer, perhaps, than your inhalation is always more stimulating for the parasympathetic nervous system of rest and digest, especially reducing stress, lowering blood pressure. Okay. So once again, draw your knees up into your chest or bring your knees over to the side, rock up, and come on over onto your stomachs. So, Dhanurasana or bow pose. Yeah, you're groaning, I know. Well, if it just wasn't so good for you, I wouldn't ask you to do it. Remember your mother said, eat it, it's good for you. Well, I'm your mother telling you to do it, it's good for you. Tech guys aren't gonna like this either. But listen, here's the deal, guys. So Dhanurasana, it's both legs, right? But for those of us who say, not today, not tomorrow, maybe not never, okay, fine. So listen, put one hand in front, leave your forehead on the floor, and grab your left ankle with your left hand, and just do one side, and then lift up, okay? We're not groaning now, are we? Are we lifting up? Come on up, yeah. Okay, so it's hugely stimulating, helpful for digestive organs, glands, sexual organs and glands. So, if you're on one side, if you're doing both, look at you guys rock. Okay, Evie, lift your head up. There you go. And now, listen, if you kick your legs back, kick them back, that'll get your chest off the floor. And look at Jennifer go. It's a rocking horse. And look at Tech Guy. He's working it. Okay, come on out. So if you were just doing one leg at a time, or if you don't even want to do the other leg, then you'll have to do the same leg twice, but I recommend that you would do the other side. And then for those of us doing both, let's try it once more, and then we'll be done with that. Okay, remember what I said, if you're doing both legs, take your legs wider apart, inhale, up. So kick those legs back, kick them back. Lovely. Okay, turn your head to the right, big toes touch, heels splay out, shoulders melt. I know how hard that posture is. Trust me, when I'm practicing myself on the beach or wherever at home, it's not one that I gravitate towards. However, it's out of the 440 postures there are, not including variations, Dhanurasana, bow pose, is one of the most beneficial of all postures. It addresses so many areas of your body. They call it a complete yoga posture. You're stretching the front of your body. You're activating so many muscles, but particularly, of course, today we're talking about our digestive system and how important that is. Okay, hands underneath shoulders, head back to the center.
And then come on up onto your knees. So this is where, if you have knee issues, you may want to double over your mat. You'll probably want your block here. So we're going to practice hero pose, Virasana. It's very calming to the tummy area after what we just did. Calm is good. So you're going to bring your knees together and then take your feet wider than your hips. Pull the flesh of your calves out. Now, some people can sit between their legs, but you have your blocks. Put it on whatever height you need. You can put it on your highest height or medium height or the lowest. You just find the place that really works for your body here. Don't force. And you're just sitting up and sitting back. And of course, great stretch here for the front of your foot, but again, not what we're focusing on today. You could close your eyes. Just let your hands rest on your lap. Lift your sternum up, shoulders relaxing and down. So Virasana, hero pose. So again, this might be something that if you're at home and find yourself on the floor because you're looking for something, maybe if you sit in hero pose for a moment, something magical will happen. You'll find that missing button or the nail that fell off the wall that you might step on barefoot, or the tack. Okay, come on up. You can take your block away. We're going to do our sideways prayer because twist positions are, it's like rinsing out the face cloth. You are rinsing out and squeezing toxins out of that abdominal area. So let's step the left foot forward. Bring your right elbow outside of the left knee. Bring your hands into prayer. Now, if balance is an issue, you do not need to come up from this posture, but you still want to press your right elbow into your left knee. If you are going to lift your back knee off the floor, wait for your own inner cue for balance. Focus your gaze on the floor, curl your back toes under, and then lift the knee off the floor and press through that heel. That is your anchor, your back right leg. Focus your gaze on the floor and keep pressing that right elbow into the left knee, having a mirror image with your arms. Nice, everybody. And release your hands to the floor. And then turn sideways on your mat. I'm going to turn this way, left leg goes forward, but I'm going to turn around so my bum's not in the camera. Okay, spread your legs wide apart, tabletop your spine, fingertips tented below your face. Inhale, sweep your left arm up, reaching up, stretching up, maybe looking up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, reaching up, stretching up. Exhale, float it down. Okay, let's bring the feet together again. And this time your right leg is forward and your left knee is on the floor. And you're going to bring your left elbow onto the outside of your right knee. So twist your torso, even before we get started here, twist your torso, open your bottom palm, place the other palm directly on top. Please look at the floor, wait for your own inner cue if you're going to lift your back knee off the floor, and then press through that back heel, twisting. Remember to do good deep breathing, which includes nice long exhalations. We are forcing waste gas, not wasted, but gas waste from the body. So when we twist, when we compress, we're assisting the body to be a self-regulating, self-healing system. And that will do. And once again, you're going to turn sideways on your mat. Turn your feet out, fingertips tented in front of your face with a tabletop spine. Inhaling in place, exhale, let's lunge over to the right side, bringing bum as close to heel as possible. Inhaling up and over to the other side. And one more time in the center, last time, over to the left or right, and one more time to the other side. And walk your feet in. And then slowly roll up. I'd like to just do a little bit of Uddiyana Bandha. Now, many of us have done this before. Maybe some of you haven't. This is such a powerful exercise. We have something called digestive fire. It's called Anyi. And by drinking a lot of water with your food, especially ice water, don't do it. If you have to have a glass of wine, have more of it before dinner and only sipping while you're eating, but don't drink a lot of water with your food. It douses the fire. You won't have good digestion. You'll have flatulence, gas, and all other kinds of nasty stuff afterwards, okay? So you probably know that, just a reminder. So in Uddiyana Bandha, you're gonna take your feet about hip width or maybe even a little more. You're gonna place your hands on your knees. And basically on it, and I can't do this when I'm talking, so on an exhale, all the air, even an extra exhalation, even when you think you have all the air out, breathe more of it out. And then you're gonna pull your abdomen almost like up and under your rib cage, okay? So let's just try this together. Inhaling, just let your belly relax. Exhaling and inhaling and exhaling. And all the air out, all of it out. Even a false exhalation here. And then pull your bellies up. So holding, and once you have run out of the ability to hold your breath, please come to standing and then breathe in. Okay. So that's the idea. We'll practice this again in another week, but meanwhile, have a sip of water, and then we're going to take our final posture, Shavasana. If you want to cover your eyes and didn't get something yet, please grab a lavender eye pillow, or if you're at home, put something over your eyes if you like, if it's bright in the room. So that last posture stimulates digestion. So if you have a weak digestion, or if your tummy's been inactive, it's a great thing to do while you are waiting for your dinner to be ready. And by the way, tapioca pudding is a prebiotic. So it supports your probiotics. Probiotics, according to most people, are not necessary every day. Prebiotics, on the other hand, can be eaten every day. Tapioca pudding, a little bit of cinnamon, yum, yum. All right, eyes are closed. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw. Let your bodies be soft and heavy. When we violate our inner wisdom and the laws of nature,
our bodies give us feedback. In pain, discomfort, and fatigue. So how we're feeling is a measurement of how well we're taking care of ourselves. It's simple. As I said, progress sometimes is man's ability to complicate simplicity. And I think most of us would prefer to simplify our lives, feel healthy, happy, and whole. So once again, before a couple of minutes of silence, please check in with your breathing, that your belly is rising, that your chest is not. People who shallow breathe, you see their chest rise and fall. They're not getting anywhere close to all of the oxygen they could be getting and releasing all of the carbon dioxide that they should be letting go of. If you're belly breathing, you can be assured of having high vitality. Inhaling the life force long, full, and deep, and deep. Exhaling. Long, full, deep. Inhaling and letting go. Inhale, stretch your arms skybound, reach and stretch, point feet far, flex and point, and drop your arms down by your sides. Taking your time to roll over onto your side, bending your knees to protect your lower back. Maybe using your bottom arm as a pillow just for a moment. And if you haven't yet, apply your little Buddha smile, relaxing the muscles of your face, and using your top hand to press yourself back up. When you're ready, you can join me in chanting Om. You can be silent and still chant. Both are equally powerful. Inhaling in place. Om. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.